to July 15th, 2019. This is the Wrestling Inc. podcast, the fallout from Extreme Rules. We've got a new number one contender for the Universal title, a new contender for the Raw Women's title, and The Fiend finally made his debut. I'm Glenn Rubenstein, joined by Raj Giri and Matt Morgan. Matt, what did you think of tonight's show?
It was there.
I thought it was a one-segment show. Bray Wyatt, it was a cool surprise. The crowd went nuts. The 2 out of 3 fall stuff, the elimination match stuff, it just gets more and more awkward by the week, especially when there's no stakes in those matches. But, there was some good, I thought, as a post-Extreme Rules show. Again, it was there. We're seeing the same problems we always see with Brock, where the segments are the same. He doesn't cut his own promos. It's the same stuff every week, and this is coming from a Brock fan. Yeah.
To me, his segments are the worst parts of the show at this point because they are redundant. I've never seen anything more redundant.
Yeah, it's just the same thing for 7 years or whatever we're at now.
It's been a coat of beige paint for at least 4 years now.
Except the dancing. At least we had that.
Okay, he gave us a little color in there for 1 week where that was funny.
Yeah.
1 week he was fuchsia, but now it's back to beige.
And then it was I couldn't get my attention off the fact that they didn't give that an opportunity to a different talented wrestler, and they instead just give it to Brock Lesnar, who's going to cut the line and become champion. No, WWE does not a good kind of heat either. I don't want to hear, isn't that the point? That makes you pissed off at it. Watch him get beat. No, it doesn't.
He just
makes me not want to watch. Makes me want to turn the channel.
I don't know if he has a deal that he doesn't say a single word at all, because him cutting a promo here and there, doing stuff without Heyman once in a while, doing stuff, a promo backstage, anything would be at least freshen him up a little. But just Brock standing there smiling, Paul cutting the promo, Brock, pacing, jumping up and down. It's just been done for so freaking long. You just know what that segment's going to be. And it ends with either Brock walking off or Brock, attacking. That's it.
I don't know how he's not bored doing it himself.
No.
It's so boring.
We opened tonight with Paul Heyman giving the same spiel, but he was hyping up the 10-man battle royal, the cross-brand battle royal that closed the show to decide the new number one contender. I think the most interesting thing about this was he said that he put over that he hopes Sami Zayn wins. I was like, that's interesting.
I like to hear the crowd's reactions, though. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, to see who they're behind.
Cesaro, for instance, Cesaro got way bigger in a pop than I expected.
Randy Orton in that battle royal at the end. Oh my God, the crowds wanted him to win more than Seth. It seemed like.
I thought Seth was cold tonight. I thought the crowd wasn't into Seth at all for the most part. I think they've really done a number on him these past 3 weeks.
Yep, they've emasculated him too much.
Yeah. He's more emasculated than Mike Kanellis is right now.
He's getting in that country. Yeah, he's in Kanellis country.
Yeah. In that battle, who would have thought a year ago that the fans would have wanted Roman to win more than Seth, right?
Never.
They were going for Roman over Seth. And when it came down to Seth and Randy, you could tell they were disappointed. When it looked like Seth won, you could tell they were disappointed. Then Randy was in, and then they got energized again.
Which is weird. Long Island are usually smart fans. They're usually difficult to work in front of as babyface. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? They're usually very, very smart fans, smart marks. So to hear them reacting to those guys that they've been booing for years and getting up, reading the newspaper and crap like that during their matches, I was just Orton, Reigns. No, I was surprised at that.
Yeah, and it's awkward too when the person involved in the match, they're the ones announcing who the people in the battle royal are. I just thought that it just seemed weird to me. I don't know.
Anyway. It was very weird. We went from that right into a match, 2 out of 3 falls, with Ricochet and the Usos versus the Revival and Robert Roode. Ricochet and the Usos picking up a win here. Nice to see Robert Roode back on the screen, but what did you think of this match, man?
I like this entire segment, and that's weird because there's so many guys going, there's so many people involved in it, but I liked and I was emotionally invested in every one of them for different reasons. These are all people that I privately root for, and they're all thrown in one segment, right? You want to see them all get booked better on separate on separate days and separate talents and separate angles, and here they all thrown together for me as a fan watching, I'm saying. And so please stop typing, it's distracting. So I have ADD, sorry.
Mute your mic when you do that, Raj.
Oh, Raj, sorry. So listen, guys. So like I thought, like this segment, like at the end, in any other segment, if I saw them doing this, I'd be like, oh come on, like them overcoming the odds like nobody's business, and really at the end of the day, beating up 6 different people, before finally getting flattened. What was cool about it was at the end of those segments, normally they're usually bam, bam, bam. Like one guy hits his finish on one guy, turns around and eats a chair to the head. Dude, back in the day, I'm saying. The other guy turns around, eats a DDT. Other guy turns around and eats another guy's finisher. Boom, 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 like that. They stack them and layer them. What was cool, and it showed progression in the business and how it's more athletic, they did the same thing, but with Ricochet coming up the top and hitting his thing, AJ coming off the top, and then finally, updoing him with his flying forearm. It was different.
Yeah. I think the Revival and Robert Roode is a very good pairing.
Hell yeah, it is.
And yeah, with the club coming out after to attack Ricochet and the Usos to a lesser degree.
Don't you think they would be wiser to have all 3 of them form some sort of stable with Roode's their singles and those 2 are the tag, and they do a beer money shtick?
Oh.
They don't have to be beer money, don't have to be exactly like them, but they can pull some of the stuff that beer money used to do together that used to get over with the fans.
Yeah.
How they used to talk in promos and things like that. Those were people that could beat your ass in a match, but you also wanted to hang out with them.
Yeah, no, I think the Revival and Robert Roode together are a great pairing. They could do some really fun promos. Yeah, it would be a different character versus what he was with Bobby Roode, where he was trying to be like the elite athlete, and he could be just more like a regular guy, maybe turn on a little bit of a drawl to match how the Revival talks. But no, I think that could be awesome.
Isn't it seem like every week it's the Revival and the Usos that are involved in the 2 out of 3 falls matches?
Yeah.
And it was the same case this week. Yeah, so the Usos got the victory for the first fall, pinning Dawson. And then one of the Usos got pinned for the second, and Ricochet pinned Roode for the third. So
then Gallows and Anderson came out with AJ. AJ was in the ring. They super kicked Gallows and Anderson. The Usos did. Yeah, the club was standing tall at the end of this, which was confusing to me when they had their match again later that night and the interference that happened there. It's they clearly believe in these guys and they're telling this story, but this definitely took a backseat tonight towards the Universal title action and what they did with Bray showing up.
Well, it should.
Yeah.
Oh, holy crap! That forearm that AJ gave Ricochet, and Ricochet did that like flip on his face. That looked just devastating. That was one of the highlights of this. That was one of the highlights of the show, I thought.
Yeah.
I was here, right? Or was that the second time?
Was it? Wait, now I'm confused. They're blending together.
I know, they are blending together.
Had to have been the second one, I'm thinking.
Did the club leave him laying both times?
Yeah. Well, He did the first time for sure, right?
Yeah. The first time they did for sure. Jeez, I'm already forgetting. Jeez.
Don't spoil the second time. We're going to talk about it later.
All right.
Yeah. The Viking Raiders came out. Have they always had the blonde hair on what's his face?
I thought that looked new. That little wig he was wearing.
That was bad. Like that took me out of this completely.
Bad or bad isn't good.
No, not Michael Jackson bad. That was bad. Michael Jackson now bad, not Michael Jackson 80s bad. If you get what I'm saying, it was bad. It was awful. It's terrible. Corny as hell.
Yeah, there you go. It was. Yeah. It was, but it gets them another squeeze-off match. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It gets them something. Get another win.
Yeah, Vinnie Gruner and Jackson James, who they squashed tonight.
And the crowd was not. Once again, the crowd not into the Viking Raiders at all. They were quiet for this.
Yeah,
because it's silly, and that's a weird thing to say about professional wrestling in this day and age.
Yes,
but it was silly, and again, Luchasaurus, look how over he was the other night. Like, we pop for sometimes the stupidest shit, but the Viking Raiders are silly.
Let me ask you a question, though. If they keep doing Luchasaurus, right, and he works his way to the main event as a singles act, don't you think eventually there's going to be that aha moment unless he takes that mask off? Because eventually you're going to be cheering for a guy sticking his tongue out with a green tongue.
Right.
And pretending to be a dinosaur.
Yeah, Missing Link was never a main eventer. At some point.
And I hope it happens because he looks like a rock star. That dude screams main eventer.
Yeah. But plus, he's already dropping aspects of it, right? Like at the last AEW show, he was talking about how he's got a PhD or master's or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah.
But the Viking Raiders, I mean, they started off hot, and then they, with all the name changes, and yeah, I mean, they had the horns and everything in NXT, but I think with the name and everything, it's just coming across as goofy.
Yeah, it does. WWE TV has a way of doing that with NXT talents, or any talent, even from the indies that were over on the indies, and they try it in WWE. For some reason, it misses the mark. There's something about it. That's what made me worried about Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
How in the hell were they going to translate that to the ring is my biggest fear there. And tonight was cool, looked awesome, but I still have my concerns.
Yeah, I think just putting the name Viking in there hurts him a lot. I feel like if there were still the War Raiders, just the whole
War
thing
Raiders sounds like it would click better. Even War Raiders, I remember when they were in New Japan wrestling somebody. I don't remember what it was, and I remember like, that's their name, War Raiders. Like, that's kind of corny.
Well,
like,
they were the War Machines back then in ROH.
Like, come on, that's a cliche. That's such a cliche name, though. Like, that's such a blah name. Like, nobody put any thought into this kind of name. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, I agree. We'll see where they're going with it.
Here's one. Here's a little tidbit that you guys didn't know. There was like a week, not a week, maybe a month, where they're thinking about calling me up to TV with Kevin Furtick, Mordecai. All right. As the weapons of mass destruction. I swear to God, that was gonna be the tag team name.
And this was back when George Bush was president and everything, right?
Oh yeah, of course it was. You know what I mean? So like, it just goes to show you they don't really put thought into these damn names sometimes.
Were you gonna get a nickname? Would you be like Scud or something like that?
Probably, but it didn't get that far.
Scud and Heat Seeker, the weapons of mass destruction. Solid gimmick. So after that,
actually, it would have been better than Mordecai. I'm sure Kevin Thorne's kicking himself that he didn't get it.
Yeah. Backstage, we saw a little interaction with Cedric hanging out with the Street Profits, Finn Balor, and No Way Jose. Why is Finn back there with these guys?
Why are the Street Profits already back there with those guys?
Yeah.
I would just, if I saw in the script, they're like, okay, you're going to be in a backstage segment with no hit Way Jose. I'd just fake an illness or, fall down the stairs.
Yeah, seriously, they should have just people running away from him. We don't want the association. No one will fight him.
Here's the problem. Back in the Attitude Era, like Steve Austin, Rock, and guys, I'm not saying pretty much even like the mid card guys, right? Because there's so many established talents back then. Every single match on that show had an established talent that we all thought were huge stars. Val Venus, you name it, all different parts of the card. But these guys were able to go to creative and say, "Hey, I'm just being honest here. No ego here involved, but." Look, my character would not say this. He'd probably say this. Or my character wouldn't be back there with those guys. My character thinks he's too cool for school. He would never be with these J Browns. Like, something to that effect. And it was accepted. Now it's not. Now you're a heat-seeking missile. We just talked about that. If you say anything like that, you're a jerk. You're an arrogant. You're what's his name? Who's the guy who just got
Leo Rush?
You're now Leo Rush. There ain't nothing wrong with that. If you believe in your character, you stick up for it. That's the way it should be. And that's why these guys continue to get buried. And then you become No Way Jose, where nobody wants to be in backstage segments from you, including Raj Giri.
and not to mention Finn Balor being there when like 2 segments later, he's all sad and disappointed about losing. But here he is in this backstage segment, smiling with, Cedric and No Way Jose.
Yucking it up.
All right. Having a good time.
I don't get it, man. I don't get it at all. I'm surprised at this. So Cedric Alexander teamed with Roman Reigns last week in the fight against Drew McIntyre and Shane McMahon. Tonight, they continued Cedric Alexander versus Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
Cedric won this match. Is this the feud they're going with, Raj?
Well, a lot of times what you see is that they'll get the win, and then for the next 2-3 weeks, Drew picks up the win. I don't see this as a serious push for Cedric, but it's a way to not have it be a 1-week thing. If Drew squashed Cedric tonight, that'd kind of be done.
Sometimes the win. I'm so sorry. Sometimes they do losses as part of the storyline of the bigger character. I got pinned once by Brian Kendrick when I was on a tear. I didn't lose any matches. They were building me. I forget what it was. I was in the wasn't the Four Horsemen. What were they called? Fortune at the time.
Oh yeah.
I was about to break up from them a little, like maybe a month later. So they're gonna start building me to work Kurt Angle and go through each main event Mafia member one by one. All these Hall of Famers, Booker T, Nash, all these guys, and they had me lose to Brian Kendrick, who wasn't booked much on TV at the time, and it was more about my character losing that match and what it was gonna do to me and make me go off the deep end and go bananas. And do you know what I mean? So, like, I don't know. When we see these losses, the people need to remember it could be more about, for whatever reason, Drew needed to take an L here so they can hit this different gear with him. I don't really know. You know what I mean? I just wanted to put that out there, food for thought, because it's not always about the guy doing the upsetting that the storyline's about to the creative team. It's also sometimes just about the guy who took the loss.
That's true.
Yeah,
Well, Brian Kendrick, I mean, Matt, you're legit 7 feet tall. You make Brian Kendrick look like Hornswoggle next to you. I mean,
yeah.
Well, there's been so many times where they try to recreate the Razor Ramon 1, 2, 3
Oh my
kid,
God, yes.
you know, that thing, but they've never had the patience to stick through it or the planning to stick through it and really make a guy and take the guy to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll give him an upset win. Within a month, they're back to where they were.
And it hurts the guy that gets beat too temporarily.
yeah.
Exactly. I mean, Drew was on a roll. He was just coming off of a hot match with Taker last night. He looked awesome. He looked like $1 million.
Yeah.
This was where I would start getting him to that
Building
next
him
level.
bigger. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that's the rumor, right? That Taker and Drew might work a program together. There might be something there. But Cedric,
I don't know about that. There was advertising that WWE had for SummerSlam, but I don't know. I just don't see it. I don't think they'd be having Drew losing just, less than a month out if he's wrestling Undertaker.
Yeah. No, I think tonight that put a nail in that coffin.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if Undertaker's done after last night. That tag match was a great way for them to protect him. They designed that match great. I just don't see what else they could really do unless he wants to put over like a Bray Wyatt or something.
Yeah. Which tonight, nope, Bray's got his feud. We'll talk about that in a moment and so much more. But first, I want to thank the sponsor of this episode, which is Blue Chew, BlueChew.com, blue like the color blue. So, Raj, you missed the podcast last night because you popped to Blue Chew. You had some business to attend to.
Yeah.
Good evening.
How can it not be?
Better than Drake Mavericks.
Time out. You're okay with this? I thought you'd be steaming on your show with Glenn's talking about you and your episodes with a little general in the mid. You know what I mean? I thought you were sure you'd be like, Glenn, what the hell's wrong with you?
It's a big admiral when Blue Chew
The
is
big
involved.
admiral.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Huge. What was Hugh Morris's name there for a bit?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Sergeant
Huge.
Huge.
Yeah. Huge erection. That's what you're talking about when Blue Chew is in the picture. Oh, man. Every guy remembers those days when he was good to go, back when you were hitting the skins, and I'm not talking about the drums. When you were knocking boots, and I'm not talking about what you wear on your feet. Back when that girl was poison, you knew never to trust a big butt and a smile. And now, let's face it, she's like 40-something, has 3 kids and is divorced, and you're not faring much better. But you can get that magic back. That's right. BlueChew.com. They bring you the first chewable with the same FDA-approved active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis. The stuff that works. The stuff that is engineered to make the magic happen. Take them anytime, day or night, even on a full stomach, and they are chewable. That is the key, which means they work up to twice as fast as a pill. So you can be ready whenever that opportunity arises. No more scheduling. Oh, my God. You don't want to put it on your calendar. You don't want to put that, hey, honey, tonight, mark your calendar down. It's going to happen. I'm going to take this pill 2 hours later. It's go time. She goes to sleep early. You're sleeping on your back the entire night. That's all I'm saying.
Not very romantic either.
Not at all. With Blue Chew, bring the spontaneity back. Make it happen. You don't have to tell her you took it. She doesn't have to know.
No, never say that.
Yes, it's your performing enhancement drug. And it's perfectly legal, prescribed online. And for any guy that wants that extra function, that extra confidence to make it all happen. Prescribed online, shipped straight to your door in a discreet package. No in-person's doctor's visit, no waiting in the pharmacy, no more awkwardness. Made in the USA, prepared and shipped direct, and cheaper than a pharmacy. And the special deal, you're going to get this pouch. You're going to get a Blue Chew pouch when you go to BlueChew.com. Enter the promo code WINC. You're going to get your first shipment free. You just pay $5 shipping. They're going to send you out a pretty ample sample, as it were. You're going to get like 5 of these babies in your pouch. Take them at your leisure. Try it out. See what you think. Use our promo code WINC at BlueChew.com to try it free. We thank them for sponsoring the Wrestling Inc. podcast.
Drake Maverick was tweeting about Blue Chew just the other day.
Yes. One day
tonight, he had that uncomfortable look that you had that one time you had popped one on the podcast.
You know, sometimes you got to prioritize, man. Sometimes you got to prioritize. Yeah, so tonight we saw the replay. Shinsuke Nakamura beating Finn Balor last night at Extreme Rules. I said it was a tough loss, but tonight he's facing Samoa Joe, the guy that lost his match last night for the WWE Heavyweight Championship. And Finn got just taken out. Like, this was fast. They locked up. Like, a minute later, this was over. Got the pin attempt out of nowhere for the win. Then Samoa Joe went to tag him out or choke him out with the coquina clutch. Finn did get his mojo back and stand tall over Joe. And then the lights go off. The music slows. What's going on? The Fiend appears. The crowd is yelling, "Holy shit." So we see Bray Wyatt there in the Fiend mask. And he's laughing. And then they went to commercial. He hit the Sister Abigail on Finn. So clearly it looks like they're building something between the two of them. I want to talk about your reaction to the Fiend first, Matt. What did you think when this happened tonight and Bray Wyatt showed up in that mask?
With the lighting that hit the mask the way it did, I mean, well, for one, the crowd is insanely loud while the lights were still out. I'm like, what the hell are they saying that we can't see? Come on, WWE, you're screwing it up. I want to see. You know what I mean? Which is good. That's anticipation. But the crowd was super loud, louder than they normally are when it's pitch black in that arena. So I'm like, they're able to see all this. What are they seeing? You know, which is good. And once it come on, I was like, it's that hokey mask again. But because again, he's gonna have to wrestle. I keep going in my head. I can't get it away from what's gonna happen when the bell rings and he has to wrestle. Is he wearing the mask? Is he not? Should I care? Should I just care more about what his promos are gonna be like? Because they're gonna be friggin' out of this world great. I don't know. All that was going through my head, honestly, because I've seen him work Finn before.
Yeah,
he was almost Sister Abigail once against Finn, but luckily he got sick. You remember that? He was going to be. But yeah, to your point, Matt, I think there's so many ways they can go, and that's you know, it was like they showed one character of his. I don't know if he's going to do both with the red sweater and that whole gig, and he's got like a split personality. Yeah. And this is just one aspect of it. I mean, it could be interesting. I mean, I've seen WWE screw up a lot of these things in the past before, so I'm not getting my hopes up. But I thought tonight, I mean, I thought it looked cool. I thought that mask looks, you know, pretty scary. I don't know how you wrestle in it. It looked pretty secure. I don't know if it's one of those things where he takes it off when he wrestles. We'll see. But I thought it was a cool debut.
It is. And the other thing is, let's say he does wrestle in it. All the lights are going to be on, and it's going to look like a silly Halloween mask. Remember I said that?
Yeah. I think
he wrestles in it.
To your point, I think they lingered on it a bit too long tonight, Matt. And I think they should be very careful in how they present it in the future. I don't want to be nitpicky about it too much.
It's great to have them back, right? And yeah.
But it is that sort of thing. It is that sort of thing. And I know we've talked about this. Is funny after a Blue Chew ad where sometimes the anticipation is better than the payoff could ever possibly be.
Yeah, sure. Yes.
You know? And with Bray, I think that's the case. I think they dragged this out so long that did it live up to all the expectations? No, I don't think it did.
I don't think anything could have, because those promos, you guys, those vignettes were out of this galaxy, like way out there. Nobody could have predicted that that's what Bray Wyatt was coming back with. Back to WWE as this multi-person personality character. Mr. Rogers? No, hell no.
Someone pointing out in the chat. So I disagree. I thought it was great tonight. I thought it was a great.
It should have ended the show. I agree with you that.
Yeah. I mean, the crowd was into it, and someone was bringing it up in the chat. I think this would be a great idea, is if you had a Firefly Funhouse sketch next week where Bray is apologizing to Finn for what the Fiend did, and acting.
Actually, I could see that being it.
Yeah, I think that would be great.
Probably is where they're going to go. Whoever this says they should be running for WWE. Whoever.
And I'm trying to judge it for what it is, not for what it could be. And I think that's a mistake that we all make with wrestling sometimes, is we build it up so much in our heads when we're invested in something. Mm-hmm. So with this, I'm trying to judge it for what it is. I thought that was good, but I hate to say this, as the biggest Finn Balor mark there is, this is the guy that lost his title last night and lost tonight quickly to the other guy that lost a title opportunity last night. Like, this is not Bray coming in at the top of the card. This is Bray coming in kind of like barely in the middle of the card. And that worries me.
Don't you think that shows like as much as we get on them and how they treat Finn Balor, doesn't that show you guys though a little bit what they truly think of him as a talent?
Yeah,
that he can lose 2 matches and then still be part of this segment and still get the third guy over and Bray.
Well, so he's requested time off. Raj Wrestling Inc., I believe, has the story up on that.
Finn
is taking time off after next month. It was first reported by Pro Wrestling Sheet that he's, he'll be leaving sometime in August. I'm presuming after SummerSlam.
So I think the Demon is going to get his first loss to Bray Wyatt at SummerSlam.
Why not just save it? Why not just save it till he comes back?
Well, I think you want to get Bray. I think it would be a mistake to put Bray at the top right off the bat. You want this character to get over, again, like what Matt was saying. What if when he starts wrestling and he's got the mask on, people start crapping on it? I don't think they will, but you want to build him up. He just made his TV debut. You want to give him guys. And I think Finn is a great guy. He hasn't been protected, but he still has enough credibility with the fans that a win over Finn means something, and especially the Demon, because no one has beaten the Demon.
Keep it away, because you say he takes two. Like, he can beat Finn Balor right now and still be in the middle of the show, and then move up and beat somebody else, and then beat somebody else. He being Bray, but I don't think he should ever beat the Demon. Especially if he gets 2 months off. If he comes back as the Demon, the crowd would lose their mind.
That would be cool. You have him just beat Finn, and he comes back as the Demon. People are pointing out the Demon did lose in NXT, but on the main roster, he hasn't. So that's kind of been protected. But yeah, that would be a cool way for Finn to come back when he comes back.
Yeah. We got a series of vignettes tonight, which were Drake Maverick at the hotel, ready to go with his wife, Renee Michelle. Truth followed him there. Saw Drake wearing his tidy whities there under that 24/7 championship. Before he had a chance to consummate his marriage, R-Truth snuck in, pinned him, and won the 24/7 title back. Stay tuned to social media for more development. Yeah,
I usually am a big fan of Drake and Truth. I think they've just been going too. I mean, this was so predictable. Everyone saw it coming. Everyone with the cart that came in, everyone knew R-Truth was under there. I thought tonight it had just gotten old. Now the one line I did like was when they came back and Corey Graves said I would have utilized the small package or something.
Yeah.
Like that. And Renee Young just started cracking up. She couldn't stop laughing. But it wasn't the worst thing or anything on the show, but it's gotten predictable. I'd like to see them introduce new people into this, because the Truth and
no way, Drake Maverick should never stop being the 24/7 champion. I'm pissed.
No. I'm saying you keep Drake in, but maybe give Truth a little break for a little bit,
because he's doing stuff with it on his own. You know what I mean? On all of his social media stuff, I get a big kick out of it. I think it's funny.
I think Drake's hilarious.
But like to put it on like Cedric Alexander or somebody like that we saw in the locker room, for instance. This is called them locker room guys, and I think everyone knows who we're talking about going forward. Guys that they were throwing these locker room segments that don't matter to the show, right? They all hang out together. And they chase 24/7 champions. Those guys, none of them are going to do anything with that belt. Like, I don't care about any one of them having it.
Yeah, maybe not having it, but playing the straight guy to Drake Maverick's comedy or something like that.
It has to be, because he makes me laugh.
Yeah.
They could build EC3. I mean, they did that online vignette with them on the park bench. I think if they
hilarious.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. So don't just put it on No Way Jose, like build a character to inject into this. And it'll get over. I mean, I think it'll be good. And I think mixing it up, you can't just be Truth and Drake the whole time, going back and forth with it.
So if anyone was expecting the Edge and Lita sex show, this wasn't it.
Yeah.
You guys remember that?
Remember it. Who could forget? Street Profits were backstage again, giving their little recap, hyping up the Fatal 4-Way tonight, talking about the Battle Royal, their picks to win.
Who cares? Street Profits, who cares what your opinion of anyone in the WWE's roster is? I don't care. You're not commentators. Why are they letting these guys do this?
They're like the Jay and Silent Bob of Monday Night Raw.
I thought they were like
they're losing cool points.
Absolutely. They feel like the snowman in Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer who's kind of narrating the movie as it's going along. It's like, we don't need you to tell us, what's coming up or what happened. You just sound lame doing that. And it's a cool gimmick that they got. They're cool characters, and they're bringing them down with this narrating stuff.
I used to love those claymation Christmas time shows. They were the best.
I did too.
Zack Ryder versus Mike Kanellis. Maria was emasculating Mike. She was trying to go out there and wrestle, even though she was pregnant. Mike's the loser. She can do better at defending their honor. Zack Ryder pinned Mike in under a minute. And was weird, Raj, as you pointed out online, like the announcer announced that his victory was less than 1 minute.
Yeah, the winner in under a minute.
Yeah.
Zack Ryder, which I don't think I've ever heard that before. So they're going out of their way to.
Yeah. I didn't catch that.
Yeah. I like how they're making this feud about Mike versus Maria, but Maria doesn't even have, like, there's no guy, there's no baby daddy or like her, the secret lover or something in there. I like that they're still managing to feud with her just tearing him down and him losing.
I mean, that's the ultimate sympathy, isn't it? I think both men and women can relate to that, Like, wow, what a, when thinking about her and how she's being towards him. I mean, girls are going to be like, oh, what a poor guy. And every guy's like, what the hell, dude? That sucks,
Yeah.
That's good sympathy. I hope they
just got to be a payoff. Yeah.
They go somewhere with them.
I mean, if this was the old ECW, the old Paul Heyman with creative freedom, I'm sure they would figure out a way to have someone else be the baby daddy.
Baby daddy, yeah.
Oh yeah.
But I don't see WWE going that route. Hey. Some people are pointing out that I guess when The Rock beat Eric Rowan at WrestleMania, they said he was the winner in 6 seconds. So that would
that's the other time in the decade they've called out the time.
Yeah. Wait. Hey, yeah, that's true. Hey, real quick, I did notice that they're cursing a lot more though.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think maybe there's something to them no longer being PG, and maybe they do? Maybe not go extreme to baby daddy route, but levels rather. But I mean, a level under, it's pretty good.
It's definitely edgier than it was a year ago.
It made Natty's promo. Her whole promo was made tonight by being able to say ass.
Yeah. And did you guys talk about this on the podcast last night? I can't remember, where they zoomed in on Lacey Evans' ass when she was getting in the ring.
I mentioned that too, is why you missed the podcast. That you took the Blue Chew, then there was that shot, and then you were like, I can't possibly podcast after this, guys.
Yeah, definitely though, Raj. Very Velvet Sky TNA-ish.
Right.
Literally. Yeah. Well, and wasn't that the story? I mean, is there truth to that, Raj? That WWE thinks AEW is going to eat their lunch with the teen audience, so they're trying to give it a bit more of an edge to compete.
Yeah, that is. I mean, they've been concerned about losing teenage viewers for a while now, and I think they're concerned that AEW is going to siphon a lot of those up.
So lots of butts and calling people a bitch. That's the formula. Bring all those kids back.
Kofi giving the finger last week.
It adds more fire, though, to their characters that need them. Natty desperately needed it tonight. We've seen him so long in a meaningful angle.
It makes it sound more realistic.
It does.
A UFC promo, when they're really heated, even when they bleep it out, it sounds so much more, heated and passionate than a WWE promo, because that's how they really talk.
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar's best promo, perhaps of all time. What was it? I don't give an F about your kids, to Heath Slater.
Yeah. His best WWE one. I still like his Cormier one. I'm coming for you, motherfucker.
The club took on Lucha House Party in a surprisingly competitive match.
Yeah.
Very shocked.
Yeah, they even did a reset here.
I didn't get this. Just to get them on TV. I don't know.
Yeah.
This should have been one segment, club dominating win. And I'd even say give Gallows and Anderson a win here, because since they've been together, I mean, Gallows and Anderson haven't won a match on Raw in years, I feel like. So let them all look a little dominant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So AJ got Kalisto in the calf crusher and then kept a minute after. while the other guys tried to make the save. So this had the club standing tall.
Yeah, this was the one where the middle of the match, Ricochet came back out, interfered,
That's right.
And then they reset it.
Yeah. Maybe this I think might be the AEW effect. I think look at what the Lucha Brothers did the other night and having such a serious competitive match as they have in AEW. I think Lucha House Party actually got a chance to have a real match tonight because they're typically squashed. They've been squashed. Look at the Lars Sullivan matches they had and whatnot there, where these aren't normally lengthy affairs where these guys get a real showcase, and tonight they did.
You don't say. Really, they've been getting squashed? I thought they were going to be pushed for the freaking world titles, a 3-man group. No crap.
But that's what tonight was like.
But I think by not having the club squash them, it almost makes them look weaker because they always do get squashed.
It 100% does.
Yeah, that's my point with it. It's tonight. I literally was like, I'm gonna get up and go to the bathroom. I'm gonna come back. This match is gonna be over.
Right.
And I was surprised it went so long.
Yeah, I will say AJ looks like he's got a whole new fire under him since turning heel.
Yeah,
he looks great.
Absolutely. So we saw multiple recaps of what happened with Bray Wyatt. They kept showing that again and again. Tonight they showed the recap of what happened last night with Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch, with Brock cashing in, winning the Universal Championship. Rollins cut a promo talking about how tough Becky was, that she's going to be okay. Doesn't know if she's going to show up tonight. It's up to her. And then right after the commercial break, we had the Fatal 4-Way elimination match to determine the new number 1 contender. Becky was there sitting at ringside while Alexa faced off against Carmella, Naomi, and Natalya in an elimination match, with Natalya winning. Now, what did you make, Matt, of the crowd just turning on this match with the "this is awful" chants, the "you suck" chants? I haven't heard a reaction like this.
I thought I was hearing it incorrectly. I didn't think they could possibly be that rude. That's what I really thought. I'm like, they're not saying that. I'm missing something else. These guys will fill me in what they were really chanting.
No, it was people. We have people from the staff that were there tonight. Yeah, this is awful. This is boring.
That's a quick turn, though. No,
well, this was probably 10 minutes in when they started doing that. This match, it went way too long. That's the one thing. This should have been a one-fall match. I know they feel like they need to kill time, but you could have had Finn versus Samoa Joe. Do a reset there or whatever, since you can't have wrestling during the breaks. But this match didn't need to be 20 minutes or whatever it was.
Yeah. And then Nikki Cross getting involved, trying to get people to chant for Alexa. I'm very surprised that Natalya went over here, and Natalya is going to be facing Becky at SummerSlam in Toronto.
Honestly, I liked it. To me, it was new.
Yeah.
To me, it's new, and there's different kind of fire behind her promo.
But I would have rather, again, this is the problem with WWE with these world title bouts, is they don't build any talent. So then one night they have to get a guy, or a talent that hasn't been winning at all or hasn't even been on TV at all. Right. And one night they're building him as a world championship contender. They don't really get over.
Here's the thing, though, Raj. They don't feel that they've gotten those two girls to where the storyline needs to get to before it's one of them versus Becky for the championship. That tells me. So this was a quick audible to get Natty in there. And I'm sorry, more importantly, give Becky a credible opponent for the next pay-per-view while they take their time with the slow burn storyline between Alexis and Nikki.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest. After what happened in last night's match, they were not ready to, go their separate ways yet. They're far. It seems like they're far from it. At least they were.
Which they would. I think you could add that match to SummerSlam.
They need to start going there.
Yeah. I think that match could be on SummerSlam. Maybe the pre-show.
Just losing cleanly like that. And you know what I mean?
Alexa versus Nikki actually has a story behind it with Natty versus Becky. They had that promo tonight. Natalya threw some shade at Becky pretty hard in this. SummerSlam is happening in Toronto, so we know Natalya is going to get a great reaction there.
Yeah.
But they've got to build this up and really tell a story, I think, to get people invested.
The other thing is Becky. I thought Becky was a heel, honestly.
Interesting.
I thought she came across that way too.
She came across, it's me. Like Natty's in there really excited, stoked, and then here comes the, wet blanket.
Yeah, at first, because Natalya came out and was like, I'm happy to be facing my friend Becky Lynch, and then Becky came in and said, I don't know. Fans have cooled off on Becky too. You saw that here tonight. They were not into her. She said that It's not going to be her friend that's going to face her. There's going to have a war, and she prefers war to love or something like that.
Yes, and then Natalia said, "Well, Becky must not be a very good lover," then, and called her the B word.
Yeah.
Yes, which is it's like Vince is like Freddy Krueger. It's like, oh, well, I bitch at the end. It makes it far edgier. It's just why always they go there. I mean, this year I feel like we've heard that so much more in broadcast TV.
Yeah, but not with WWE, and you can't deny it did add. Listen to the reaction again. The crowd came with Natty's promo when she said that word, and then again by pulling the horseshoe out of her ass.
Yeah. No, Natalia, I like this character.
They were pulling for her, and then Natalia went off saying she was going to knock that greasy red mop off of Becky's head. Again, crowd is cheering. They weren't booing her. And she said something about pulling the horseshoe out of Becky's ass, which that was a line Brock used to use a lot on Frank Mir. So I thought it was a very effective promo. I thought Natalia did a hell of a job, and I would not be surprised by the time SummerSlam comes if the fans are cheering Natalia. Oh, I guess they definitely will cheer Natalia over Becky. In Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
So Miz TV happened tonight, and Dolph Ziggler came out there. They cut promos on each other. I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm trying to sell this in terms of talking about what happened. This was just weird.
Ziggler is criticizing The Miz for losing all the time, which I don't think Ziggler's won. Maybe he's won 2 matches in the last year. Just ripping The Miz, which is, it's warranted. I mean, The Miz, I've been saying forever he should be a heel by SummerSlam, or he will be a heel by SummerSlam, or she's not going to be on the card. And so Ziggler's just ripping on The Miz for kind of the same boat that he's in. So they were jaw-jacking back and forth, and then it ended with Ziggler making a crack about Miz's wife, Maurice. I forgot what he said. Like, let's see what.
Yeah,
it was a weak shot, and then Miz tackled Ziggler, and that was pretty much it.
I don't want to see these two fight.
When they were starting, I was thinking if they were a tag team and Miz turns back into a heel and they're a tag team, that I could see working. Miz he's done great in teams before in the past with Damian Sandow and R-Truth.
Even Big Show, with everybody actually. He
got
done over. But like, I just don't care about anything with Dolph right now. I just do not care, and he brings the stock down of the other talent. Even that's such a horrible thing to say.
Yeah,
I always feel anything that Dolph's involved in now.
They had that good feud, 2.5 years ago for the Intercontinental Championship on SmackDown, where The Miz was antagonizing Dolph. Like, that was cool, but given where their characters are right now, I don't think it works in this configuration.
Yeah.
I don't want to see that match. I don't know about you guys. Not even on the pre-show.
No.
He'll be lucky to make the SummerSlam pre-show.
Yeah. So I hope this takes a twist and it ends up leading to them becoming allies and the tag team, because I do not want to see this feud.
Mm-hmm.
So we got the cross-brand All-Star Top 10 Battle Royal. Big E, Sami Zayn, Seth Rollins, Bobby Lashley, Rey Mysterio, Baron Corbin, Roman Reigns, Cesaro, Randy Orton, and Braun Strowman. Oh, where to begin with this?
That is a lot of talent in that Battle Royal, though. You forget how loaded the WWE roster can be if these guys are used correctly, because all these guys, and even the ones that haven't been put in a main event spot yet, like Big E, they could easily be there if just given the right program.
Yeah.
I was really shocked when Braun Strowman got eliminated. I expected him.
I thought he was going to be the winner and challenge Brock.
Yeah. But no, we got down at one point to Rollins, Reigns, and Randy Orton in there. It came down to Randy Orton and Rollins. Man, I mean, the crowd was hotter for Orton than they were for Rollins to get this. I just don't. I guess this is a more interesting way to give him his rematch for it. But, I mean, don't we feel like just burnt out on Seth Rollins versus Brock Lesnar at this point?
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
Because it never stopped. I mean, that was the build to WrestleMania. And then we got a short reprieve. But then we got Money in the Bank. And ever since then, it's felt like Paul Heyman and Brock have been up in his grill this whole time.
Yeah.
If anything with Brock, I am board with anybody at this point except for Braun Strowman. He's the only one I'd want to see, or Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, if they did, I bet they could. I mean, they could do something cool with Lashley, where make it a more realistic build. With these two MMA fighters in the background. But they'd have to turn off their WWE way of doing things, I think, to do it effectively. But I'm kind of with you. When I was watching this, I was like, is there any of these matches that I'd be excited about? Lashley with the different build, Strowman if he just got a dominant win. But I remember thinking they're probably gonna have Seth win, and I don't want to see that match.
Yeah.
Why would they have Seth win though? With if there were reasons for doing this, right? And ratings being a primary reason, before they go to Fox, if they think Brock is worth putting the title back on, why would they hot potato it back to Seth at SummerSlam?
Just that's what they always do, right? When you cash in and win from somebody, you have the rematch for the most part. That's just WWE booking how they've always done it.
You're supposed to have it in your contract, though. Why did he have to go through 10 guys to get it?
Automatic rematch.
They made that no automatic rematches clause, which is
they did.
Yeah, but which is silly because they still do automatic rematches a lot without saying it. But yeah, they got rid of that clause when the McMahons made the fans the authority.
And we ended with Seth and Heyman yelling at each other. Rollins yelling at Brock coming at him with the chair, but not going in the ring. And then we went off the air.
Brock teasing going in the ring and reprieving as they've been, again, just I've seen that forever and ever and ever.
Yeah. So there you have it. Monday Night Raw after Extreme Rules. Matt Morgan, if you had to give it a grade, what grade would you give tonight?
A good B.
Okay. Raj?
Probably go C+, I guess. I didn't think it was terrible by any means. It just felt long and uneventful and just kind of dull overall. But
it did drag on. Glenn, I thought it was 11 when I texted you. I was like, hey,
that's what Glenn was like. Matt texted me like 2 hours ago about the link.
How long the show was. I'm not joking.
It was long. So yeah, I don't think it was terrible. There's your headline for the podcast, the official title. Raj Giri on tonight's Monday Night Raw. Let's talk about some other news quickly here. Raj, why does USA Network want the Raw reunion special next week?
Yeah, so next week, loaded Raw reunion. There were some new names they announced tonight, like Sid Vicious was one. There were some others, but a stacked Raw reunion special. Some people thought WWE is going to be announcing the Q2 numbers later that week. And so some people thought it might be a way to say like, hey, we're turning things around. Look at this big rating we just popped. But apparently the USA Network requested it. They wanted that. It was one of their ideas. They want ratings to go up, and they felt like this was one way to do it.
Where else would they have this, though? It's an anniversary show. It's always a reunion.
No, it's not an anniversary. It's just random.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's no reason for it. It's just
so it's not like Raw celebrating its 100th birthday or some crap like that,
right?
No?
Yeah,
okay.
No, it's just called a Raw reunion. So yeah, there's no rhyme or reason for it.
Raw 26.5.
Raw 26 3/4. The USA Network, they wanted it, and so they're doing it, and which is weird because you got to think they're going to be doing a SmackDown 20 when they move to Fox. It'll be the 20th anniversary of SmackDown because they debuted in October 1999.
Damn.
It makes all the sense in the world to do a huge show going on Fox, and you got a reason to invite all these guys back. And I think doing it twice in a 3-month period just dilutes it. But
that's a good point. That's a good point. I pop a very big rating for Fox.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why USC is doing it. I don't know.
That makes sense.
Yeah, take it away before Fox can do it.
Yeah, that's our bullet to shoot, not you. These Johnny newcomers, and who knows?
Yeah, so
there's got to be a certain level of pride by this point in USA with WWE. You know what I mean? And carrying them, it's our company. We're the ones who've been working with for years. We let them go for a few years to go to Spike, which was silly. They've been back ever since. That's our company. You're not getting to, you know what I mean?
Totally. Yeah. And they stuck with them through some low times too.
They did. Yes, I did.
So is it true Luke Harper is returning to action this week?
Yeah, so apparently he's going to start working live events and stuff again. So
what happened there? Anything or
that's not known. He's just he's coming back. So apparently they worked out some sort of deal to get him back on the road, but unless he signed a new contract, I don't think you're going to be seeing him getting a push or anything, but he will be back in action. So
they say how what is you don't know if it was a deal or not, right?
Yeah, that's all that's known is he's going to be coming back to action.
Wow. Any more details about MJF and Britt Baker's injuries after Fight for the Fallen the other night?
Yeah, so MJF was an elbow injury, not a shoulder injury. So it's probably nothing serious. I'm sure he'll be fine by the time All Out comes by, probably a lot sooner. Britt Baker, apparently her concussion was pretty serious. So that explains a lot for what happened in that match where she was going to the wrong corner. And really, wrestling, Goldberg working that match with that concussion when he got concussed a couple minutes in, and it kept going and it got dangerous. Like there were spots where they could have really hurt each other. So I think
you could tell Britt was affected the rest of the match, Glenn. Like not just a missed tag.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Right. The match, yeah, I could see it.
Yeah. So I think WWE, AEW, they just wrestling companies in general, you sense a concussion, just stop it. Fans might not be happy, but I'm sure if they understand what it is, the fans today are a lot more understanding, I think.
They are. They actually, they bitch the loudest about the chair shot to Cody's head.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? So they do care about the guys and girls now. It's different.
Yeah.
Well, that's true. Anything else to cover, Raj, before we take this home?
No, I think that's it.
Cool, man. Matt Morgan at BP Matt Morgan on Instagram and Twitter. That's the only plugs that matter. Visit the city of Longwood. It's lovely. Tell him Matt Morgan sent you. Raj, what's coming up on the site?
I can't remember right now. Just the usual plug. The tons of interviews. We got the Blue Beanie. There's like 9 interviews this week. Austin Lane, former NFL player, he fought Greg Hardy, he's now a reporter for ESPN, does a lot of their pro wrestling stuff. He played for the Jaguars, so he talks working with the Cons, NFL concussion protocol versus pro wrestling, just things like that. A lot of really interesting stuff. Cool. Check it out.
Awesome.
D'Lo Brown as well.
Nice. I'm Glenn Rubenstein. You can find me on Twitter at Glenn Rubenstein, where I tweet along with WWE programming. I greatly appreciate a follow. I'm up over 5,000. I know that's not a lot, but to me, it feels like the world. Thank you, everyone, for your support. And we will catch you back here tomorrow night to talk SmackDown on the Wrestling Inc. podcast. Take care.
#fake followers.